Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Inside Story with Student Life. My name is Tirza Watts. I'm the Director of Student Life and Campus Community. Excited to have you watching our video today. I have a special guest, Patrick Rowe, and I'm going to let Patrick introduce himself in a second. But today we're here to actually learn a little bit more about outdoor adventures or outdoor programs that the University of Colorado Denver sponsors for students to participate in. So, Patrick, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about where you went to college and maybe tell us a little bit about something you did involvement-wise that was fun.
Yeah. So my name is Patrick Rowe. I'm currently the coordinator of the Outdoor Adventure Program, which is housed here in the Student Wellness Center on campus. And so I went to college at the University of Iowa in Iowa City, Iowa, which is a fun thing to say. And when I was there, I didn't really know what I was going to do. I had no real clue of what I wanted to do when I grew up, when I graduated, anything like that. But then I walked into the University of Iowa's rec center and found the climbing wall there. And that's really where I found community. It's where I found people that I wanted to be around and really found a passion for what I wanted to do. And so from there, I majored in outdoor rec management, which was a really fun and cool thing to study and be a part of in college. So from there, I went to the University of Central Florida in Orlando, got my master's in higher education. And so here I am now at the University of Colorado, Denver, doing that exact same thing, trying to provide that community for students that come here.
That's awesome. So welcome. I know you're recently, how long have you been here?
About a year and a half.
Yep, I knew you were newer to our staff. Well, welcome to CU Denver, even though it's a year and a half later. So knowing that you had your own experience and found like community being involved with recreation stuff, talk to us a little bit about why you think it's important for students to participate in outdoor programs specifically.
Yeah. So like I said, already said for me, it was huge on community. I met people that I wanted to be around, and that being a part of that community is so motivating because there are people that are pushing you to continue with school, because if I can't continue with school, I can't continue in this community, and I can't continue to come to the rec center here, as well as the fact that it just pushed me to do things that I never would have done otherwise. I got to travel so much because part of being within this community is just people on the weekends go and do cool, fun things. And so I went rock climbing all over the country, and eventually it pushed me to then study abroad and go to Tasmania, which is in the southern part of Australia, and do a lot of outdoor fun things there. And it just pushed me to learn and do things that I never would have had the opportunity to do otherwise.
Well, let's keep going with that word learning. I'm always curious, Student Life sponsors not only involvement opportunities, but we do leadership education. So you mentioned, you learned a little bit about yourself. What do you think students learn? Maybe a couple of things that students learn as leaders when they participate in these kind of programs.
Yeah, and so that's on our adventure trips specifically, especially like overnight ones that happen over fall or winter or spring break. The student leaders that work for me, or even if I'm leading the trip, we try and take a step back and really let the students take control of the decision-making process there. And so working within a team and really deciding what's best, what are we going, like, are we going to push for the summit, or is the weather too bad? And do we need to stay safe? And so making those real decisions that can have an impact on your life, those are huge decision-making processes that can help you grow as a person, but also help you grow in a group and in a team as well.
So I heard teamwork, I heard decision-making. I'm sure there's maybe some conflict management in that, especially if they disagree in the decision-making process. So yeah, students, as you're watching this video, I want you to start thinking about what are the leadership skills I'm learning by all the different involvements that I'm participating in. And know that you're learning constantly. You're learning how to do things like make decisions, which are really crucial, and a nuanced process when working with a group of people. Maybe people you just met because you just got on a van to go camping together, right? And so you're having to do some relationship building in that as well. Well, Patrick,
and I love that. Sorry. I know. I just love that you said that, because that's something I bring up to students when we're in those difficult situations, because when you're in an interview, a really common question is like, what's a stressful situation you've had to deal with? Or what's a hard decision you've had to make in a team? And a lot of people really kind of fall back to those like, well, I was in a group project one time and the presentation wasn't going great. And that's like not that impactful
Right.
in an interview. But then if you can say like, there was a storm coming in on this crazy adventure trip that I was a part of, like that grabs the attention of whoever you're interviewing with, and it makes you more personable. And it also is a more hard-hitting decision that you can say, I made this due to safety, or I made this because the team was more comfortable with whatever we made the decision off of. So just you grow so much and you learn so much participating in these extra events.
I know where the growth for me came when I participated in outdoor programs. I did a whole lot of whitewater rafting at my college. Um, Went probably, I'd say 8 to 10 times over the 6 years I was there for my bachelor's and master's degree. We did a lot of having to figure out how to solve problems, read what was going on with the group as well as what was going on the river. Like there's just lots of things. And when you're right, when you have a response like that, when somebody's like, tell me about a time you were stressed or a time that you had to pay attention to multiple things and prioritize, these kind of adventure trips actually give you some really solid answers. But where the learning comes from is the reflecting afterwards. And I remember on a lot of those trips, over lunch or over dinner, before we got back in the van to drive back to campus, it was having that reflection conversation of, okay, let's talk about what happened today. What'd you learn about yourself? What'd you learn about somebody else in the group? When were you scared? When were you excited? When did you realize you had more in you than you thought you did? Right? Do you guys do those kind of reflection conversations?
Yeah, I teach my trip leaders that we should be debriefing at high highs and low lows, as well as just at the end of most days. And so if we had some incredible experience, we made it to a peak, we saw a really amazing thing out in the wild, we debrief that and like, okay, what impact did that have on you? As well as those lows, like you said, like if there was a difficult situation and we made it through, let's chat. Like, where did you decide that you could do this? It's a great
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to dig deep in random situations, and it's good to have that brought to the conscious brain to go, hey, you did that. And,
Yeah.
that we accomplished this together. Yeah. Well, I'd love to let you have a few minutes to kind of highlight, 2 or 3 trips that are coming up this spring that you would love for students to know about so that they can make a decision about registering for them. And I would love it if you could talk a little bit about what they need to know or do, or if there's any costs when it comes to that registration process.
Yeah. So looking at some of our offerings for February, we have a couple of really cool trips that are coming up. So on Valentine's Day weekend, it's going to be Saturday the 11th, I believe. We have Valentine's Day ice skating up at Evergreen Park, which is going to be a super fun opportunity. A lot of people look at our program and they think like we do scary things. We go and we climb these high peaks and that I can't possibly do that. A lot of our adventure trips, and the vast majority of them, are actually entry level and fun activities like this ice skating trip that we have coming up. So that one is going to be $30 per person. And so that'll get you transportation. It'll get you entry into the ice rink. It'll get you the skates that you need. And it's up at Evergreen State Park, which is or Evergreen Park, which is an outdoor ice rink up in Evergreen. So great opportunity to get out, maybe somebody that you're fond of, somebody that you can bring on a date. It's a great date night opportunity. So should be a great day for that one. And then the following weekend, we have another one of our really popular and incredibly cool trips, which is the dog sledding trip that we run every year.
Ooh.
And so, yeah. So that one does not have a price set yet, but I assume it's going to be somewhere around maybe $100, just because that booking price for all of the dogs, where the dogs are working really hard and they deserve those tips as well. So that'll get you transportation. It'll get you the whole day dog sledding up around Monarch State Park. And yeah, that's just a great opportunity for students to get out and have a great day in the mountains.
Okay. Now, students, as you're listening to this, I don't want you to have sticker shock. Some of these things, as Patrick shared, You know, the university has a van, so they're driving you there. So you're getting transportation, you're getting materials or supplies or equipment. And so if some of these sounds fun, but you're like, oh my gosh, $100, but I'd really like to go dog sledding, you know, we wanted to let you know in advance so that you can start thinking about how can I save? So if I'm waiting tables, can I put $15 a paycheck, you know, in my savings account and save up to do that trip? So there are things though that I know don't cost anything to do that are adventure oriented that you can do in Denver. So are there maybe some free things that students can do in Denver if they're like, nope, I can't quite afford that, but I'm interested in some kind of adventure?
There's so many things that these students can do. And just to get outside, like Denver is known for its outdoor activities and how accessible the mountains are. And so something that I always recommend for people that are just going out on a maybe for a day trip, if they want to do it, is just go up to Red Rocks. There are miles and miles of trails around Red Rocks that you can hike and you can go on, as well as going up to a place called St. Mary's Glacier. This is somewhere where I take students all the time. There's a $5 parking fee to get up there. However, there are several people that to maybe take buses up there, or carpool, or different things like that that can help offset that $5 cost. And it's one of Colorado's most accessible glaciers. It's a less than a mile hike to get up to it. It's a beautiful lake. People bring sleds and stuff up there to just have a great time. And you can say that you've walked on a glacier when you get up there too.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, and if you need any of the gear, Outdoor Adventure also offers extremely reduced cost gear to get up there. So say it's pretty snowy and you want some micro spikes. You can rent that from us for $2 per day.
Right.
Micro spikes or snowshoes are going to be $3 per day. So we have so many opportunities and so much equipment that students get significant discounts on.
So before we wrap up, let's go a little further down that road. I know that, again, back at the college that I went to, you know, you could rent a tent for $5 or $10. Of course, this was a long time ago. But, you know, we could check out, as you said, low cost pieces of equipment. They had sleeping bags, camping sleeping pads, the actual tents, et cetera. Do you guys have stuff like that you guys loan out or rent?
Yes, absolutely. And it also, I think our 3-person tents right now are $6 per night.
Oh,
So
that's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it really is very, very easy and very cheap to get the equipment that you need right here at the university. You just swing by. You can make a gear rental appointment if you want to reserve the gear, or you can just come in during our open hours and grab whatever you need.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for meeting with me today. Students, I'm going to put in the show notes for this video a link to the outdoor programs website and the Wellness Center. And I hope that you'll take advantage of doing some free things in Denver, or even meeting with Patrick to, you know, find out things that you can do, or to sign up for one of his great trips that he and his trip leaders are trained to take you on, and will cover all the things to get you there to have a great experience. So anything you want to share before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I think we really covered everything.
Okay, well, awesome. So thank you again for watching an inside story video with Student Life, and we'll see you next week. Bye.